Well, it certainly didn't take long for Rockstar Games to inform everyone just how well Red Dead Redemption 2 is performing, and I have a quote here from Business Wire. Red Dead Redemption 2 achieves entertainment's biggest opening weekend of all time. Yes, you heard that correctly. The biggest opening weekend of all time, and that goes for video games, but most importantly, for movies. So this includes stuff like Avengers and things like that. And it's the biggest one in history. What is going on, guys? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. I'm currently 30 hours into Red Dead Redemption 2 on Chapter 3. I'm loving every second of it. Please enjoy the gameplay captured from Xbox One X, and I actually uploaded this video in 4K for your enjoyment. Now let's get down to it, shall we? I know a lot of people are probably surprised by this. I always thought that Red Dead Redemption 2 would be the biggest selling game of the year, and it looks like it's on pace. But I don't know if I expected the biggest opening weekend of all time. So this is exactly what the Business Wire article says. It says, Rockstar Games is proud to announce that the critically acclaimed Red Dead Redemption 2 has achieved the single biggest opening weekend in the history of entertainment, with over 725 million in worldwide retail sell-through during its first 3 days. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the second highest grossing entertainment launch of all time, next to Rockstar Games' previously released title, Grand Theft Auto 5, which achieved over 1 billion in retail sell-through in 3 days. Now, they have an asterisk next to that, but that's because Grand Theft Auto 5 launched on a Tuesday, so its first 3 days were Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Red Dead Redemption 2 launched on a Friday, which is why they can make the claim that's the biggest opening entertainment weekend of all time for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Nothing even comes close. And, you know, a lot of the talk before the release of this game was that it wasn't going to do as well as Grand Theft Auto. And yeah, it didn't. It's about 250 million short of it, as Grand Theft Auto has a long legacy and a long history, you know, dating back to the PlayStation 1. But the fact that here we are and it did 750 million in 3 days is insane. And if you take, you know, an average selling price of a regular copy, $60, which we know the average selling price isn't $60, as there was 3 versions of the game, one for $60, one for $80, and the Ultimate Edition for $100. Then you would come out to about 12 million copies of Red Dead 2 sold in 3 days. That's probably the high mark, as I mentioned. That's for an ASRP of $60, so it's probably somewhere around 11 million, but in the ballpark between 10 and 12 million copies sold in 3 days. Now you compare that to the recent success stories of God of War, which did 3 million in 3 days and 5 million in a month, or Spider-Man, which did 3.3 million in 3 days, but we haven't been updated on how well it did after a month. And Red Dead Redemption 2 looks like an insane juggernaut, selling 12 million, or upwards of 12 million, let's just say 10 million, in 3 days. Who knows what it's going to sell in its first month of release. But there's still some more information to read off of here to just kind of grasp exactly how big this launch is. Because Sony Interactive Entertainment also confirmed that Red Dead Redemption 2 set new records on the PlayStation Network for highest ever pre-orders, highest day one sales, and the highest sales for the first 3 days on the market. Pretty incredible. So if you take a look here at the list of benchmarks that Red Dead 2 has already hit, we have biggest opening weekend in retail sell-through across all entertainment releases. That's key, all of them. Books, movies, etc., etc. The second biggest launch 3 days in retail sell-through across all entertainment devices, or all entertainment releases, only second to Rockstar's own game, Grand Theft Auto 5. The biggest entertainment launch of 2018, which is pretty huge considering Avengers Infinity War came out during the summer, and that was absolutely massive. It's the most pre-ordered full game ever on PlayStation Network. It's the biggest one-day full game sales ever on the PlayStation Network, and it's the biggest first 3 days full game sales ever on PlayStation Network. Now, we don't know how it did on Xbox. There's no talk of that there, but I'm assuming it sold incredibly well. We all know it's native 4K on the Xbox One X thanks to Digital Foundry, and everybody's talking about how great it looks. And now maybe we can put to rest this idea that Call of Duty and Battlefield 5 weren't scared of Red Dead, because clearly they were. Looking at the sales of these games, and thinking back about the reasons why Call of Duty chose to move from its normal release of November and hop it to the beginning of October makes more sense now, because Red Dead Redemption just took $750 million from people over 3 days, and those people may not have more money to spend on Call of Duty, so it was very smart of Call of Duty to get out before Red Dead. And if we're wondering which one sold more, clearly, Red Dead sold $750 million worth. Call of Duty sold, I think it was $550 million or $500 million in 3 days. So we know which one sold more copies and which one will probably sell more copies down the road. Now, Battlefield 5 was also a part of this whole discussion. It was supposed to come out a week before Red Dead Redemption. They delayed it a month. Pretty good move, in my opinion, looking at what happened here with Red Dead, as I think people were going to buy Red Dead Redemption 2 regardless, and they were going to skip over Battlefield. But if you give them a month leeway, the hype surrounding Battlefield, or Call of Duty rather, dies down, people start finishing the single player of Red Dead Redemption 2 looking for something different to play, and there's Battlefield 5 waiting in the wings. But it's not all finished for Red Dead, because they made the smart move to not launch Red Dead Online until next month. Now, we don't know when next month. We don't know if it'll be the beginning of November, or the mid of November, or the end of November. But they did say Red Dead Online will launch in November, and that's going to be another sales boost for them. I'm sure there'll be people picking it up to play the multiplayer, and it'll be another round of positive PR, unless, of course, they introduce some insane microtransactions, which you never really know with Rockstar. But even if they do, I'm sure most people will overlook the microtransactions that Rockstar kind of produces. Just look at Grand Theft Auto 5 and the stuff they do online, and nobody really bats an eye, because that game is just huge with casuals. I'm interested in seeing exactly how Red Dead Online is going to work, but I'm still got another 50 hours or so ahead of me to finish off the story here in Red Dead Redemption 2. And man, a lot of people eating crow. A lot of people thought that Red Dead wasn't as popular as it is, that it wasn't going to outsell Call of Duty, that it wasn't going to be the biggest launch of the year. Well, those people were dead wrong, as the biggest entertainment opening weekend of all time just speaks for itself. No other game is going to reach this level until basically Grand Theft Auto 6. Think about that. Rockstar Games is on another level, not only when it comes to video games and the crafting of these worlds they make, but of entertainment launches. When you think of Rockstar and you think of Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto, they're bigger than movies, they're bigger than books, they're bigger than literally everything. Everything. Bigger than the Marvel Cinematic Universe and stuff like that, which is crazy to say out loud. And the fact that it made more money worldwide is insane. Think of the hype the Marvel Cinematic Universe has made over the last 10 years of movies that they've done leading up to Avengers Infinity War. And little old Rockstar comes out with one game, Red Dead Redemption 2, that was barely promoted, hardly advertised in the lead up to the launch of this game. You remember, people were talking about where are the trailers, where are the gameplay, nobody's hyped for Red Dead Redemption 2. And that slowly kind of started a month from launch. And then here you end up with $725 million, bigger than literally anything in entertainment history besides Grand Theft Auto 5. And then it makes you question why you questioned Rockstar and the way they go about things, doesn't it? Totally insane, in my opinion. Anyways, guys, that is my take on all this Red Dead 2 stuff. I hope you found the video informational or enjoyable. If you did, if you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Share it out on social media with a friend. I greatly appreciate it. Hit the sub button if you're new. Hit the notification bell if you always want to be notified when I drop new content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.